So basically, for this problem, we're trying to find the x value of the equation. So what we do for this first problem, 13a, is we have x plus 13 in parentheses, and then x minus 7 in parentheses equals 0. So for each of these, we're going to kind of solve each of these parentheses like individual equations and try to find the x value equal to 0. So what we would do for this first parenthesis, x plus 13 equals 0. And to get the x variable by itself, we would subtract 13 from both sides. And we would get x equals negative 13. Now for x minus 7 equals 0, plus 7 equals x over positive 7. So for the answer for this, the two x's is negative 13 or 7. Okay, now the next problem, we have 13b. So by the way, that was 13a. Can you hear me erase real quick? Okay, for 13b, we have in parentheses 2x plus 13, end of parentheses, 3x minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so again, we're going to try to isolate the x. So we got 2x plus 3 equals 0, minus 3 equals 2x equals negative 3. Now, you obviously can't divide 3 evenly by 2, so what this would turn into is a fraction. So x equals negative 3 over 2. Okay, so that's your first x. Next we have 3x minus 7 equals 0, plus 7 on each side, 3x equals 7. Again, you can't evenly divide these by 3, so this again turns into a fraction, so that equals 7 over 3. Okay, next problem. We have 13c, which is x on the outside of a parentheses, and inside the parentheses is x minus 3, parentheses equals 0. So, for this, we would have to we treat this x right here as a completely different equation because it's outside the parentheses. So what we would do first is make this x equal to 0, and our first x is x equals 0. And then afterwards, we solve this next equation. So x minus 3 equals 0, plus 3 on both sides, equals x equals 3. Okay? Last problem is 13d. And this is x squared minus 5x equals 0, and there's no parentheses to this side. So in order to make this solvable, we have to simplify what this equation would be. So what we would do is we would bring this down to x on the outside of a parentheses, because x times x equals x squared, and then inside the parentheses we'd have x minus 5 equals 0. So if we FOIL this, x times x equals x squared, and then x times 5 equals negative 5 squared. Okay, so from here, when we solve this like we did 13c, we treat the outside x like a completely different equation. So the first x is x equals 0, and then the next one is x minus 5 equals 0, plus 5 on both sides equals x 5. Okay, that's it.